I'm here to give you a monthly snapshot of what the real estate market is like in Collin, Denton, Frisco, and Plano. Part of the things I'm asked, and being in this business, I'm asked quite a bit, is what the market is like, what is happening. There are some people who are frustrated because their house is taking a little bit longer to sell than what it has in the past, or they may be looking for a house and having a difficult time finding it. What they're seeing generally within our market is that the new builders, so people who are building new homes, the Drees, the Southgates, the Highlands, the Cahognavian, all the builders are starting to be able to catch up. So they're starting to actually be able to build houses fast enough in order to meet the demand as it sits today, which is again, this is February 1st. Part of what I'm going to be giving you is last month's market update. So what happened in January, this is January 2018, to kind of look at what the trends are and what's going on within the four different areas really, and two are subsets of the other one. So again, it'll be Frisco, Plano, Denton County, and then Collin County, because I think it helps really get us ready for what's going to be a great season in real estate. And what we're going to start seeing is we're about to start our really busy time, and so we're going to see a lot of movement in real estate. We're going to see more houses for sale. We're going to see people wanting to move before the school starts the next year, so that would be the 2018-2019 season. As we get to May, people are going to be getting out of school, and what we see is that there's a lot of listings, there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of people looking to make that change within their house. So part of what I'm going to start with is Frisco. I do live in Frisco. I've lived here since 1993 and been in the area for quite some time. And so I've kept up with the market throughout these years. And I'm happy to kind of announce that we're still in a good seller's market. A seller's market is when there is months of inventory that is less than 6 months of inventory. So that means if we didn't list another house and we started to begin to sell houses, that it would take 6 months for us to completely run out. And so what we're seeing, is a seller's market, which is less than 6 months. Again, a buyer's market would be if we had greater than 6 months worth of inventory. Talk a little bit about Frisco. Our month supply is 2.7 months of supply that we have right now, currently February 1st. That's up 17.4% from what it was last year. So we are seeing the months of inventory go up, and again, that is due to new builds and the fact that the pre-owned market is starting to stabilize a little bit, at least for now. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to see that, again, we're going to have a really big push March, April, May, and we're going to see that number get down into, the 1.5-ish, 1.75 is what my personal prediction is. But right now it's at 2.7. We do have 372 new listings. That's up 20.4%. Again, so we are seeing more things that are listed than what have been listed in the past. The average sales price, $440,000. And we saw 175 houses close in January, which is great that it's up 10% over last year. So yes, we have seen houses close. Houses are selling in the month of January. So even though the month supply is going up, we are still selling greater than what we sold last year. The one thing that's a little bit deceiving is everybody believes that their house should sell in a week. So I hear a lot of people going, well, why did my house sell in 5 days, 7 days, even 2 weeks? And I want to give you a little pretty heavy fact. The average days on market here in Frisco has been 79 days. That's 79 days it's taken for people to sell their house. That's up 61.2% from last year. So again, here in Frisco, it's taking longer for people to sell their current home in order to move on, but it is, it's that time of year when we do see a little bit of a slowdown. Average days on market last year was averaging 30 to 40 percent most of last year. So we are seeing an increase in the number of days. Now, let me explain one thing that's tied to that, which is the list price, right? Is that you want to make sure when you're selling a home, you list it at the right price, because you want to not overprice your house. You want to list it at a price in which it's going to sell and which is going to get traffic. Best case scenario for a seller is to have multiple people bidding on your house, therefore getting the most you could possibly get for your home. The interesting thing is, and the reason that we know that the people are listing and that the list prices, so the original list prices, are a little bit high and that people are listing for high, is because what we're getting is 94.7% of the list price. So people list, and we're not getting 100%. We're not getting what they're asking. We're getting 94.7% of what they're asking. Again, that number's come down a little bit when it was traveling last year about 97, 98%. So in Frisco, kind of a market summary, we're seeing houses sit a little bit longer than what they are, months supply are sitting a little bit longer to sell, and our month supply is increasing. We will see that decrease as we start going into our busy season. If you're planning on listing a home, I'm going to give you a couple pointers. First off, make sure you list right. Make sure you list at the right price per square foot and the total price of your home. Make sure that it is presentation ready, because when you're up against new homes, one of the things you want is your pre-owned home to really sell, to see by someone who's potentially going to buy your home that it looks brand new. So you need to have it ready, have all the clutter cleaned up, have the closets cleaned up, have the paint touched up, have the floors cleaned, have carpets cleaned, and have that house presentation ready. Now this is going to be, I'm not going to go back through that for each market. That's basically what it's going to be for any market that what you have. Now I'm going to move on to Plano, because we are really, really close to Plano, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Plano. Again, I'm going to leave Frisco market. I'm going to talk about Plano. Plano's months of supply is interesting because it's 1.7. It's still up 21.4% from last year. What we're seeing is that that month's supply is increasing a little bit, but again, it is still a seller's market. Things in Plano are selling, right? And with 1.7%, 1.7 months on market, guess what? If you put your house for sale, it's going to sell. I'm talking about another interesting thing. 42 days on market is what the average is, and that's down 2.3%. So what that tells us is houses are taking on average 42 days to sell. Again, that's quite a bit under what Frisco was, and so houses again are moving quite quickly within the Plano market. And that has actually decreased from last year by 2.3%. So we got 42 days it takes you on average to sell your home. And what's interesting, when we tie that to what people are getting, right, for their percentage of list, the people in Plano are getting 96.3% for what they're asking for their house. So they're listing more competitively. They're listing for the market, and they're pricing those homes in order to sell, which is a huge thing into why that months, being 42 months, is less than what it is in Frisco. So houses are selling within Frisco. Now pending sales, which is interesting, is down quite a bit. So the pending sales in January, so the sales that are about to close, is down 39.7%. It's down to 158 homes. Closed sales in the month of January was 144. Again, in Plano, that's a pretty small number. That 144 homes in all of Plano closed in January. If we look at new listings, it's 290, and that's down 5%. So if you live in Plano, now's the time to list, because what you're seeing is that you're in a seller's market, your month supply is lower, and people are pricing competitively, and what they're seeing is that they can sell their home in 42 days. So let's take a scenario. In Plano, if you decided to list your house February 1st, I would hope that you would at least consider and give me a shot to list your home. We would look at you being out of your home, so being sold and having a buyer who's going to pay what that 96.3% of what you're asking, but they're going to do it in 42 days. That's a month and a half. So if you listed today, February 1st, what you're going to be looking at is you're going to be looking at being out of your house. So you're going to be into your next home, and you've bought your new home within 42 days, which is a month and a half. So if we look at that, that's February, March. So you're going to be looking at moving somewhere towards the end of March, which is a great time in order for you to sell and kind of plan out of when and what you want to sell. So again, I'm going to summarize Frisco and Plano. Frisco, slowing down a little bit from the pre-owned perspective, and I mean a little bit. It's not a bad market. It's still a seller's market. And Plano is staying really consistent. And again, people are pricing homes right in Plano, and that's what's causing Plano to be able to sell homes quicker, is that price point, and they're preparing their homes. We're also seeing some great remodels within Plano. And so people are really preparing those homes in order to sell. Now what I want to talk about is I'm going to go a little bit broader. I'm going to talk about two categories. I'm going to talk about Collin County, and then I'm going to talk about Denton County. Okay, and again, Frisco is split kind of in between, but then it gives you kind of that vision, right? Collin County. So Collin County month supply is pretty consistent. It's up, and when we look at Frisco as being part of that, and Frisco being up, guess what? Collin County is going to be up. Collin County's month supply is 2.3. That's up 27.8%. So we have that increasing number, still a seller's market, and it's still great. but we are seeing an increase of 27.8. The other thing what we saw, which is a big kind of drop, is the pending sales. There was 902 pending sales. That's a drop of 20.5% within the pending sales for Collin County. So what we're seeing is the houses that are about to sell, we're seeing that number come down. And then we start looking at inventory. The number of homes for sale in Collin County is 3,160. That's up 36%. 36 whole percent, right? That's up quite a bit in Collin County. So again, we are seeing that in Collin County, houses are starting to come on the market, and we are having a pretty good inventory of homes if you're looking to buy. Again, it's still a seller's market, but if you're looking to buy, now's the time to really look at Collin County. Average days on market in Collin County is 52 days. That's up 10.6%. So again, we look at Collin County, and it's kind of like Frisco. What we're seeing, right, is that houses are beginning to start coming on the market, and they're sitting a little bit longer in order to sell. So they're on average of 52. It's still not bad at all. It's 10 days more than Plano. So it's just absolutely not a bad market. And then we can tie that again to average percentage of list price. People are selling their homes for 96.2% of what they're listing for. So again, I think in Collin County, people need to really watch their competitive and comparables within their neighborhood, within what they're selling, and make sure that their house is priced right. Because if you price the house to right, you're going to see that average days on market come down. So what I would give you in Collin County is the same thing as Frisco. Make sure that you're pricing your house right. If we look at the average in Collin County, the average house price is $415,411. So $415,000 what the average price is. So what we need to make sure is just again that we're selling homes for what they're worth, and that we're not over listing, pricing our homes more expensive than what the market can bear. So that's Collin. Again, strong seller's market, but we do see some inventory. So if you're in that place where you want to look at moving, now's the time to kind of get in front of the curve, get in front of it before we really start the heavy season, which is in March, April, and May, when people really start getting in the market. They want to move during the summer and have their kids in place before school starts. So again, I'm going to keep kind of plugging me a little bit, is that if you have any questions about all of this, I'll be posting a PDF that has this data in it that will be attached to this. I'll be posting this video, and please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to talk about the market and talk about how to get your house sold. Or if you're looking to buy, where we need to look at from a buying perspective and how do we buy homes. Because now's the time. It's been a great seller's market. It's going to continue to be a seller's market, but now what we're seeing is we have more homes to buy. Now let's talk about Denton. I'm going to go north a little bit. So Denton month supply is 2.2. Again, it's pretty even to Collin County, and that's a good number, right? New listings were 557. That's down just a little bit. And our pending sales, again, sales that are about to close, is down 20%. It was 353 in Denton. So we are seeing some slowdown in the number of homes that are selling. And if we look at days on market, we're in that 50 range. And that's up 4.2%. The other big things that are in Denton County is we are looking at an increased inventory. So we have 1,082 houses that are actually in inventory for Denton County. That's up 18.9%. And our closed sales is down. It's 269, down 15%. So if we look at the houses that sold in January, we sold 15% less homes, and then we have an increased inventory of 18, 19%. So Denton continues to be a seller's market, but I think now is the time to really, if you're looking to buy, now's the time to get in the market. Let's get this thing, get you a new home and get everything wrapped up. I want to close with just a little bit of information. I've been in several new builders lately, and new builders have a lot of inventory homes, just like what we're seeing in the pre-owned homes. So we are seeing some specs. We're seeing some things within new builds we haven't seen in several years, which is they do have excess inventory. I did get, and I won't give you the builder because of the respect of the builder, I did buy and helped a client get a house, and they saved $40,000 on that house. We basically took it from $393, and we ended up paying $343. I'm sorry, it was $355, and it was $395. Sorry, my numbers are off just a little bit, but we ended up buying that house for $40,000 under what it was built for, or what it was expected to sell for when they finished the build. Now's the time to get in the market and find those spec homes. If you want help finding them, I can find them in Frisco. I can find Plano's a little bit difficult, but there is still some things within McKinney. And I want to talk about a new market, Melissa, Saxe, even Prosper, right? We are starting to see things move north. As the traffic, as the number of people move in, we are really seeing that the movement north is the way that people are moving. Just to tell you, if you move all the way to Melissa, you're looking at about a 20-minute more commute into what we would call Frisco's hub. So yes, it may take you 20 more minutes to get to work, but here's the positive. You're getting a bigger house, you're getting more house for your money, and you're going to be in the next growth. You're going to be in that next area, and so in 5 years, you should make a considerable amount of money on your house. So therefore, you can really justify is living there and then putting your house up for sale. You should see an increased value, and it should be a great thing. To give plugs for mortgage, we are seeing mortgage interest rates go up just a little bit. Again, it's still a great, it's a great interest rate, but we are seeing those increase just a little bit. And so I don't think we're going to see them come down. I think that's going to continue. As long as we continue to have these strong sellers markets, lenders are going to want to basically charge more for you to get a loan from them. The good thing is we are seeing a little bit of an increase in how hard it is, or it's easier to get a loan today than when it was even 2 years ago. And so if you're on the fence, I'm living in that apartment, I'm paying rent, I'm interested in getting in a house, and I want to start building equity, now's the time. Because I don't think interest rates are going to go down. Again, this is a prediction. This is not anything that I can say that I'm the master at figuring all that stuff out, because I'm not. I'm just saying what I've seen. And so I'd really like to help you capitalize on the inventory. I'd like you to find a way to get an interest rate that is favorable. You get that payment you're comfortable with, and you start putting your money into equity. You start putting your money into a home instead of just throwing it away to rent. This is Greg Cornett. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, I'm going to post this video, and then I will post a report that will show all of the data and everything that I've discussed. So therefore, you don't have to be writing all this down. So I know I went through it fast. Again, trying to keep the video at a relatively quick pace. I will be doing these market snapshots. I'll be doing them the first of every month. And so that's what I'm pushing to do, is to bring you what the market really is like within Frisco, within Plano, and Collin and Denton County. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the wonderful weather. I'll be out in the Jeep. I'm planning on taking the top off at some point in the next 24 hours or so to enjoy a little bit of air and that type of stuff. And until next month, I look forward to helping anyone out that needs it. So have a wonderful day.